Good people, good people, good people. Welcome back to the Gumtown Podcast, episode 171. I'm Doug B. If you tuned in to this podcast, thank you for your time and your attention. I really appreciate you giving it a shot. Today's guest is the founder and owner of Minnie Cleaning and Company. I'm looking forward to this conversation, and I'm sure we'll all be inspired by her story. Let's chop it up with Ashley Parks. Ashley, how's it going?
It's going good. How are you?
Glad to hear that, and all is well on my end too. First things first, thank you for taking time out of your schedule to chop it up with me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. Of course, here to talk about all the great things you got going on with Minnie Cleaning and Company. But before we talk business, let's get to know the woman behind the brand. Born and raised in Prattville, Alabama. What was your upbringing like?
My upbringing, middle class. My upbringing was pretty nice. Grew up in with two parents in the household, and I'm the youngest out of my siblings. Grew up with a brother, me and him in the household together, and it was a pretty good living. Me and my brother got along, of course, sibling fights, but my upbringing was pretty good. I'm a little country, so I have a country granddad from Selma.
Mm,
So I, out in the country with my granddad and cousins and grandparents.
mm.
I'm just a little country girl living in a little city of Prattville.
Okay, sounds good. Appreciate you for sharing a little bit of your background. Sounds like you had a great village around you when you were growing up.
I did.
Okay, yes, ma'am, absolutely. And I'm a country boy myself. I'm from Wall, Alabama, shoot, right outside of Montgomery, not far from Shorter. So I know all about that country life. So you talk about your granddad and them from Selma. I already know one thing about them country people. They cook good food, and they instill those good principles. So I already know what time it is.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am. So after you finish up grade school and graduate from high school, did you go to college, military, or did you go right to work?
I went to college for a little while. I never graduated. I went to After I graduated high school, I went to Lawson State. It was a 2 year, and then I transferred to South Alabama. Things just got, adulthood just got a little hectic. Came back home and been with my parents since. So just living the adult life, getting myself together.
Okay, hey, it's all good. Hey, sometimes life sends us on different paths, and you got to make those moves and make those adjustments on the fly. So, I mean, I completely understand, and it's not a bad thing. You just had to make some adjustments and move back home. Nothing wrong with that.
Yep, that's how. Yep, just a
Okay.
little different path.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. It's all good. All good. Minnie Cleaning and Company. What inspired that name?
So I named my company after my late granny who passed away in 2022. Um I kind of started a little bit before she passed, but I was just like getting started with the name and trying to get myself out there. I didn't really get any clients for like over a year probably, and then I started getting some. I named my company after her. When she passed in March of 2022, and what inspired me to name that after her is because, of course, that's my granny, one of the loves of my life. Um, like I said, I grew up partially in Selma too, and I used to always go down there, and I was always cleaning. I was the cleaning person. Why I don't know. But my granny always liked the way I clean and said I clean good, and I used to help her clean up her house and organize. And eventually one day I knew I wanted to start my own business, and I just didn't know what. I always wanted to start a boutique, but I tried to find something that I know I was pretty decent and good at. And that's when I came up with my cleaning business, and I decided to name it after my late granny, in honor of her and just her pouring that into me growing up with cleaning.
That's so amazing, and I definitely offer my condolences to you, and I appreciate you for sharing that backstory. There's nothing like a granny's love. I can't explain it. You know what I'm talking about. Like granny,
Yeah.
it's just nothing like it, and it's one of those things. Like when granny passes away, the whole family feels it. Because in most families, and correct me if I'm wrong, in most well, let me know if this was the case for your family. Granny is like the glue. So it's like when
Yes.
granny passed away, you just feel it. Like it just feel different, you know?
Yes, it's very different. Very, very different after she passed. It's a big life changing event.
Yes, ma'am. I can, and trust me, I completely understand. I know what that's like, and like I said, once again, I offer my condolences and I appreciate you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. So you the founder, owner, operator, Minnie Cleaning and Company. So let me ask you this: are you doing residential and commercial, or just residential? Like, what's your scope of work?
So right now, it's just me. I don't have a team put together just yet because I'm still getting off the ground. So I do residential. Right now I just clean people's homes. I haven't tapped into commercial yet. Like I'm slowly but surely working on my skills and getting into classes and learning from other people to help me in my skill set in the professional area as well to be able to get to that level. So right now it's just residential.
Okay, sounds good. And I like the fact that you're taking classes and you're forever a student. You're still learning the craft. You're still getting better at your craft, and that's a great mindset to have because it's great to get around people who are where you desire to be because they're going to give you the game to get you to that next level.
Yes, sir.
Okay, absolutely, and that's great that. And I know you said earlier you always wanted to be an entrepreneur. Is does that run in your family? Are there a lot of entrepreneurs in your family? Like, where did you get that itch from to want to be an entrepreneur?
Um, I don't necessarily know. I just knew like growing up I used to want to be a pediatrician. And then school just and life just hits really different. Um then I think it was just, learning about entrepreneurship and learning to add other skill sets to your life. So I just knew that I wanted to do something. I always wanted to have my own boutique. And so, like I said, I geared more towards the cleaning services because I knew that was something I could do. I knew I had some talent in that. So I just stuck with that. For now, I'm going to continue to. Um, yeah. So I just stuck with the cleaning.
Okay, and nothing wrong with that. And you just always wanted to own your own business. Nothing wrong with that. Being able to
Yes.
call your own shots and write your own checks. I completely understand that. So, did you ever have a 9 to 5, or were you always an entrepreneur?
No, I actually still work a nine to five. You know how they say some people say they have businesses and it don't boom until like years later. Like they're just working and their business on the side or, putting work in both ways until one day they just hit. Um, that's what it that's what I'm doing. Just working my way up, just like I said, slowly learning how to perfect my craft. So eventually as I get more clients, I can end up bringing people in to help me, and then I can pay people, and then it goes. So, right now, I'm just a student that's working,
Hmm.
learning and learning as I grow.
Okay, sounds good. I'm in the exact same boat, actually. I'm still working 9 to 5 and just investing into side businesses until those businesses can replace the 9 to 5. So definitely
Yep.
no shame in that. And I commend you for doing it that way versus jumping out there. I mean, some people jump out there and it works. I just wouldn't advise it because hey, bills still gonna show up every month. So
Yes. And life
jumping.
still life.
You better
So
believe it. Yes, ma'am. No, that's amazing. That's great. Still working a 9 to 5, and it sounds like you're using 9 to 5 to fund the business, and that's hey, I'm all on board for that route. Appreciate you for sharing.
yes.
Yes, ma'am. So, just in terms of since you've been in business and since you've been rocking and rolling, have you ran into a situation where you took on the job when you got there and it was more than you had bargained for?
Um, Actually, yes. So I think it was this year or last year. I ended up doing someone, a home, and it was a lot,
Right.
but it can seem overwhelming when you get in there. But grateful to God, I had my mother and my grandmother help me, and they helped me stay focused. They helped me not give up and and learn to, like I said, I know sometimes as people we can be stubborn or think we know things, but in that situation I just learned to just calm down and humble myself and just let my mom and my grandma and of course God help me to strategize and focus and see where to hit, what spots to hit as enter into that person's place. So it was challenging, but it felt great once I completed it. It felt great, and it just made me realize that one day I will need a team. I would truly need a team, but it was great. I end up Yeah, it was going into it. It was very scary seeing
Hmm.
that place at the time because it's like, oh, like it could be very overwhelming. But it was a blessing for me to end up learning how to calm my mind and focus, and seeing at the end I accomplished it and I made the client extremely happy. Like I was able to help that client come from, a lot of people who with cleaning, a lot of people deal with like depression and not able to, just get up and do things themselves because life just hits. You just never know what someone's going through. So to see the smile on that person's face at the end and to see them thanking us for taking our time to help get their lives in order and clean and everything, it was just really a blessing to see.
Mm. Yes, ma'am, and that's powerful. That's a powerful story. I appreciate you for sharing that and good stuff. You were able to calm yourself down, have mom and grandmom there as your support system, and it's great that you proceeded to go ahead and do the job and just take your time and get it done because those valuable lessons that you learned in that process, you would not have learned them had you given up and not taken on the task. So, salute to you for the resilience and hanging in there and getting it done. Good stuff.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. So whenever I have entrepreneurs on the platform like yourself, I like to talk about three things: the aha moment, action, and audacity. So take us back to your aha moment when you had the idea to take your love for cleaning and actually turn it into a business.
I actually, if I'm not mistaken, I think my moment was what really pushed me was my granny's passing. I guess just realizing that I won't be able to clean for her anymore. Well, her husband, which is my papa, he's still there, so I actually still go clean for him. So, just her passing and just knowing that's something we talked about, and I knew I wanted to do it. And my granny used to clean and her mother used to clean. So it kind of actually was like a pass down. And it just motivated me to stick to it and not give up. Like knowing if she was here, I know she would be so happy to see me sticking to it and seeing me accomplish my goals and my dreams of having my business. So her passing and me cleaning up for her before she passed and cleaning up for other family members, it just gave me my aha. Like I really enjoy doing it. Yes, it can be tough at times, but it's really a joy. Like once I get done and seeing the smile and the joy on people's faces after you've done something to really help them to ease their mind and their life, it was just it's a joy and I really enjoy it.
That's powerful stuff, and I appreciate you for sharing that. And I definitely understand that. I mean, losing Granny and just knowing that you always wanted to start this business, and um, unfortunately, and of course, there's never really a silver lining in tragedy, but it sounds like you made the most out of this tragedy, and you decided to go ahead and launch the business just to carry on her name, and that's powerful.
Yes. Thank you.
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So from the time you had the aha moment, just from what you were saying earlier, it sounds like you already had the name in mind. So coming up with a name, that didn't take very long. So how long did it take you to get the get the business right, come up with the LLC and get the EIN number and all that stuff? How long did that process take?
It didn't take too long because I guess like the city I'm in, it's different rules for different things. It didn't take too long. Probably took a couple months for me to just figure out what I needed to do, going down to the local offices and asking what's my steps and how much I have to pay. It probably took like a month or two. It really did not take long at all. What I've learned with cleaning and having a local business and like the city I'm in, and to be able to clean up in those surrounding cities, it actually wasn't a huge process for me. It was just like, you make sure you have your business license and your EIN and things like that. And it wasn't such a long process. It didn't take long at all. I had my business name, I did what I needed to do to make sure that name wasn't taken. I have my name, and I took my steps from there, and after that it was smooth sailing. And now I just work on my craft at learning how to promote and get people's attention to, want to book with me. Just slowly learning to do that.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds like you got right to it with the action portion. You ain't spend a lot of time sitting around thinking, overanalyzing. You got right to it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. That's what it's all about. the last portion, audacity, it's one thing to have an idea. It's another thing to put it out to the world, to be praised or criticized. No, it's another thing. It's one thing to have an idea. It's another thing to act on it. But to put it out to the world to be praised or criticized, that's where the audacity comes in my opinion. So ultimately, it sounds like you gave yourself the audacity to put this business out to the world.
Yes.
Hey, that's all you need. With God, all things are possible, and you got to step out there and make the first step. And hey, salute to you for giving yourself the audacity to step out there and make it happen.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. So you've done great things with the company. I know great things are coming down the pipeline, which leads to my next portion, vision. What are some of your short-term and long-term goals for the business you feel comfortable sharing?
Yeah. So right now my short term goal is to like when I get off my 9 to 5 sometimes, like I do a lot of my content and everything myself. So my short term goal is to just, of course get more clients, but and also learn how to promote better and how to get myself out there to be seen. And my long term goal is to really grow in my business. To eventually have a team where I can have people to help me, and then eventually, as I'm learning, I can train others and teach them, and eventually I will be the head overseeing those people that work for me, helping other people get jobs as well, helping other people start their businesses. That's my goal, to eventually be the head over my company and to have other people working under me and to help them grow in their businesses and just to truly become a CEO.
Yes, ma'am. Powerful goals, and I have no doubt you'll make them all come to fruition.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. As we wrap up the podcast, I want to ask the $1 million question. I started this podcast because I wanted to highlight the greatness connected to the city of Montgomery and River Region. Whether you were born here or lived here for a significant period of your life, be it college, military, or work, you being a hometown hero from Prattville to River Region. I want to ask you, Ashley, what do you appreciate the most about the city of Montgomery and the River Region?
Um, what do I appreciate the most? I guess I appreciate the lessons, the lessons in growing up here. Just the overall, yes, each city, may have its faults and we may hear some bad things, but I like how when things, how we all eventually lift each other up and learn how to help put each other out there and truly show love to one another to help our businesses grow. So I do love that. I love that even though the news or other people may show the negative, we still have very good other entrepreneurs and other people that truly come together and help lift each other up. So I do appreciate that. I do appreciate those who do support the business and book with me, and I truly appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am. Powerful stuff. Nothing like the power of community and everybody, like you said, sticking together and supporting each other and building each other up. Yes, ma'am. So how can the people connect with you, Ashley? What are your social media handles?
Um, for my business is Mini Cleaning Co. on Facebook. I haven't made an Instagram for it. I haven't really made any other social media for it. But right now it's Mini Cleaning Co. on Facebook, and that's my Facebook one. So that's just about it to connect
Okay.
with me.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Too easy. And of course, I'll put that information in the description of the episode. Hey, Ashley, thanks again for the conversation. I really appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, ma'am. Good people, that concludes another dope episode of the Gumptown Podcast. In the meantime, in between time, y'all know what to do. Be blessed, be safe, but most importantly, have the audacity to be you. Go on.